Shh. It's that time, y'all. Time for Big Boys Boxing.
I was gonna rip his heart out, I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack Dempsey, there's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw, there's no one that can match me.
What is up, team? Welcome back to Big Boys Boxing. And as per usual, let me get a couple of things sorted here and we'll get into this. So we'll get a bit of background music going in just a second. Dang. Got my controls a bit messed up here today. There we go. That should be going. Let's do a quick audio check, y'all. That should be going. Let's do a quick audio check, y'all. Yep, that's working. Sweet ass. So, we have news for the heavyweights. Mike Tyson finally has an opponent for his exhibition fight. He will be fighting Roy Jones Jr. Two legends that never fought as heavyweights. It's a fight that maybe should have happened, but never did. It is what it is. And, you know, it's been quite a few years that I've been cringing every time I hear Roy Jones is going to be stepping in the ring again. And that's the difference here. If Roy Jones had have retired around the same time as Mike Tyson did, I would be a hell of a lot more interested in this fight, because maybe Roy Jones wouldn't be so battle torn. He's only been properly retired for just over a year, I think, or maybe, yeah, something like that. So it's a bit of an issue. You know, Roy ain't gonna be as evasive as he was when he was in his prime. Of course, Mike isn't gonna be as fast and have the stamina and probably the power that he had when he was in his prime either. But it's an 8-round exhibition match. Off the top of my head, I think it's the 12th of September. It's gonna be happening. So, yeah, like I say, it is what it is. But I will definitely be watching it. It'll certainly be of some interest to me. And, yeah, I'm interested to see what everybody else thinks about it. I'm going to drop a link in the chat for anybody who might like to jump on and come and have a yarn about it, and maybe we can get into it. So the link for the live panel is right there. I'll pin that to the top so it won't disappear. Anybody who might like to join can jump on and have a yarn. Just make sure I've got this all set up properly. Yeah, we got a couple of people watching. Let me know in the chat if everything sounds okay to y'all. Okay, the chat's working. And also we have a fight this weekend for the heavyweights between Michelle Wallish and Joyce. Not a great fight, but I don't think it's as bad as many seem to think. We'll take a quick look at some of these boys' stats and whatnot. So here's Wallish. He is 20-3. He's got 3 losses. The most recent loss was to Tony Yoka. Got TKO'd in 3 rounds. He also got stopped via TKO, I believe, by Effa Jugba as well. There it is there. Yeah, that was in 2 rounds. And he got fully sparked by Christian Hammer. And that was in 5 rounds. But Wallish hasn't really got any notable wins on his record, as you can see here. Just try and think of his best win, and it's hard to pick a name that people may know. His record is that padded. Avika Bakurin is probably somebody that many will know. He's 23-8-1. He's fought some of his career at cruiserweight as well, but certainly a journeyman at heavyweight. That's probably the most notable win or the most recognizable name for most fans, Avika Bakurin. So that's pretty sad, really, isn't it? Oh, he's fought him twice, has he? Yeah, he has. Fought him twice to pad up his record. Now, Wallish was actually a sparring partner of Anthony Joshua's a while back. Says I thought he was a southpaw, but it says he's orthodox. Not really of any consequence. So I'm picking Joyce to stop this dude in probably 5 or 6 rounds. Wallish actually has a bit of skill, but he doesn't really have the heart or the chin to go with it, and that's just my opinion. So if he pulls a miracle out, well, he pulls a miracle out, and good on him for it. But Joyce, well, better have a quick look. Wallish is 6'5.5" with a 77-inch reach. Joyce is 6'6" with an 80-inch reach. So he's got advantages all over the place. He's got the better chin. He's got a hell of a lot more volume. I don't think Joyce is any more skilled than Wallish, but he has that volume in the gas tank and the chin, which is 3 things that Wallish simply does not have. And that's that. It should be a pretty straightforward win for Joyce. So let's pull up the old boys' records and stats, and we'll have a quick look at them. Actually, I better go and jump into that chat just in case anybody jumps in there. I haven't jumped in there yet. Here's the live panel, and I'm in there. If anybody wants to jump in, do so. And come and have a yarn. Right. Mike Tyson, box rec. There's his profile. And we'll get Roy Jones's up as well. Oops, supposed to put box rec on the end of that. Fuck that up. There we go. Roy Jones Jr. box rec. Okay. So Mike's career is 50-6, no draws. Renowned big puncher, very fast, very good head movement. If he catches you, you are going to sleep. Simple as that. So he's 54 years of age right now. He's 5'10". I thought he was actually 5'11", but 5'10", 71-inch reach. Roy Jones Jr. fought way too long. 66 wins, 9 losses. His last fight, oh, it was 2018. Okay. I remember watching this fight. And, well, no, it wasn't that one I watched. Must have been this one. Fuck, he's got a few fights on top of the one that I watched. Because the last one I watched was this one. No. Got KO'd. It wasn't even that one. Shit. I was sure it went the distance, the last one I watched, and he lost. Holy shit, Roy. You fought way too long, man. KO loss. It was this one. No, it wasn't Bernard Hopkins. I'm sure it was a white dude. I didn't think he got stopped in the last one I watched. It must have been this one. 4th 10. Nah, man, it wasn't that. Enzo Macronelli. Maybe the last fight that he had that I watched wasn't a proper pro fight. Man, I don't know. But anyways, that's besides the point. Roy Jones Jr. He's 51 years of age. He's 5'11", with 74-inch reach. So he's actually got a slight height advantage and a slight reach advantage over Mike, does he? Oh, he's got a 3-inch reach advantage as well. But I think Roy isn't going to be quite as fast as Mike. A lot due to being so battle worn. And I also think he's not going to have enough power. And he's not going to be evasive enough to get out of the way of Mike's punches. You know, it is an exhibition match. So maybe they're not going to be going full on. Couple of legends just having a bit of a play around in the ring, making a bit of money for charity. So good on them for making a bit of money for charity. I'm down with that. Couple of legends getting it on in the ring, and we'll see how it goes. But this fight on the weekend could be of a little bit of interest. But I think Michelle Wallish, now that he's stepped up to world level fighting and lost every time, I don't think he's really got much of a chance. But I don't think he's any kind of bum. I don't think Anthony Joshua would have had him in camp at one stage if he's absolutely useless. Daniel Dubois also got a bit of a tune-up fight coming up soon too. Can't remember the dude's name. I'll look it up though. Daniel Dubois on BoxRec. Yeah, Eric FIFA is his opponent's name, and that's going to be on the 29th of August, so just over a month away for Daniel Dubois. So those guys are getting a tune-up in, and they're supposed to be having a fight between Dubois and Joyce in October, I think. It's not actually listed on BoxRec as scheduled, but I'm pretty sure Frank Warren has that sorted. He didn't want to do that fight between his two cash cows without a crowd, and it's looking like there's a possibility there will be crowds allowed come sometime in October in the UK. From what I've read, they will be doing a couple of events, not necessarily boxing, but with crowds to see how it goes and go from there. So looking forward to that big fight. But in the meantime, the closest thing to a good heavyweight card is coming up in just under a month between there's a couple of heavyweight fights on there. There's it's in Eddie Hearn's backyard. There's Dillian White and Alexander Povetkin are the main event. There's also Sergey Kuzmin and Martin Bakole getting it on that card. And also the rematch between Katie Taylor and is it Delphine Persoon? And a much needed rematch. I thought Persoon actually won that fight against Katie Taylor for undisputed. Katie's had another fight or two since then, but she is getting it back on with Persoon, and we'll see how it goes. Could be interesting. So, is anybody going to jump on for a yarn or what, man? We only got 3 people watching at the moment. Get the smoke in the house. Good to have you in, brother. Peace to you too, brother. Hope everything's going okay over there in the States for you. From what I've heard, COVID's still pretty rampant over there. Like a lot of places in the world. We're pretty lucky down here in New Zealand. We have 0 community transmission. We do have some COVID in the country, but it's only in quarantine from people coming into the country. So we're pretty lucky down here. It's pretty much life as usual in New Zealand now. All the schools are open, all businesses are open, everything's running as it should be. And we are counting ourselves very lucky. We went hard, we went early, we beat the bitch. Now we just got to keep it out. But yeah, there is a link for anybody to join who would like to have a yarn about either this Mike Tyson Roy Jones exhibition fight, or Marcia Wallish versus Joyce, which is happening this weekend. It'll be on at Sunday morning New Zealand time. And I looked at the rest of the card for that actually, and it was pretty fucking lame. I might actually bring it up again. Just give me a sec here. My keyboard's decided to not work. How convenient. Bloody kids keep playing with it and bent the cord too much. I'm gonna move it every now and then to make it work. Get this card up. We'll have a look at it. Here it is. The main event ain't anything to write home about, but the card's even worse, man. So we've got the main event, of course, Joyce versus Marcia Wallish. Then we've got the it's not really the co-main, it's like the curtain raiser to the main. It's super bantamweight Chris Burke, who's 7-0, against, how do we say this, Ramez Mahmoud, who's 11-0. Well, that could actually be a decent fight, but you know, it's super bantamweight. It's fucking midgets. No disrespect to those guys, but I don't really watch too many midget fights. But both these guys are undefeated, so it's a 10-round fight. Let's get it. Maybe it'll be worth a watch. Next on the list, we've got Daniel Bentley, who's 12-0, and Mick Hall, who is 15-2, and those guys are middleweights. Can't say I know them, so can't comment too much. Also a featherweight fight on there. Louis Lin, who's 6-0, against Monty Agrieve, Ogilive, oh fuck, I don't know, Ogilive, who's 9-0. And also we have a super lightweight fight. Got Harry Turner against, who's 2-0, against Chris Adaway, who's 10-67. Oh, that guy's got to give up, man. That guy's got to give up. 10-67. You got to be fucking kidding me. Man, I haven't seen a record that bad in a long time. Holy McShit. That's pretty funny. So yeah, that's the card. Maybe that co-main event one isn't going to be too bad to watch, even though it's a super bantamweight fight. I'll give it a watch. I'm pretty hard up for boxing to watch at the moment, so it is what it is, man. I'll watch whatever I can get, and if I don't get to watch anything, well, fuck, I'll just go and play some Fight Night Champion and make my own entertainment. Intangible Boxing, what's up, brother? Good to have you in. Tommy Tampa also in the house. Let's go, champ! Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that Shannon Briggs didn't get the call up from Mike Tyson. I thought that would have been a better fight. Like I've said 100 times, man, I just cringe every time I hear Roy Jones is getting in the ring, and I don't want to see him get smashed by some of them big Mike Tyson punches. I know Mike ain't gonna be on juice like he used to be, you know, he self-admitted that. He used to juice all the time, and he'd use his plastic dick for the piss tests. But you can see that Mike ain't as big as he used to be, as muscular, so he's not going to hit quite as hard, but he's 54 years old as well, so he's not going to be as quick. We've seen a couple of training clips, he still looks pretty sharp, but at 54 years old, after the first round, looking pretty sharp, throwing heavy punches, how long is he going to be able to keep up that sharpness? And we know Roy don't move as much as he used to, don't move as well as he used to, his reflexes aren't as quick as they used to be. And once again, it is an exhibition match, so yeah, we can't go too mad on thinking about who's going to win or lose. I don't think it's that important. It's just an exhibition of two legends jumping in the ring and throwing a few punches here and there. So yeah. So is anybody going to jump on for a yarn? Anybody want to jump on and talk about some boxing, or am I going to shut this down, yo? Go and play me some more Fight Night Champion. If anybody would like to come and try and beat my ass, you're quite welcome to. There is some details in the description of how to get a hold of me on Xbox Live or through Discord. My gamertag is BBBoxingonYT. No spaces. And yeah, I've got a gym sorted out. I've got Phil Carl Roberts as a gym member, and I've got Hannibal B as well, both subscribers to the channel. I've got another couple of people who have also joined the gym. I've got a heavyweight tournament running in the gym at the moment, and yeah, it's all fun and games. For now, I'm kind of hanging out for some real boxing. I'm getting a bit sick of these mismatch fights that we're seeing. We see PBC is actually announced the Showtime card that's going to be in September, I believe. It's going to be a pay-per-view event. We've got the Charlo sisters on it. I'm sorry, the Charlo brothers on it. And they are in competitive fights. Jamal Charlo will be fighting Sergey Davrynchenko. That's his mandatory, so he has to fight him or drop that belt anyway, but that's a damn competitive fight. It's great. Also his smaller brother, not little brother, smaller brother, because they're twins. Jamil Charlo fighting at 154 is going to be fighting Jason Rosario in a unification match for 3 belts, so that's awesome as well. I'll bring up the card actually, because there's some other good fights on there as well. It's just about cream in your pants card, which is a real surprise from PBC, and the best overall card that Showtime has put on in a long time, man. A long time. Just give me a sec here. Jamal Charlo, find him through that way. Fuck, it didn't come up on Boxrec. I must be spelling it wrong. Do it on Google then. Damn, my notifications go nuts on the Discord there. Excuse the beep beep. Beep beep. Alright, yeah, so that card is going to be the 26th of September, so it's still a couple of months away, but it's a pretty decent card. So like I said, we've got Jamal Charlo fighting Sergey Davrynchenko. We've got Jamil Charlo fighting Jason Rosario. We've got the other events on the card. Super bantamweight, we've got Daniel Roman, 27-3 with 1 draw, and he's going to be fighting Emmanuel Rodriguez, which is who's 19-1. That's a bloody good fight too. We've also got Ryan Carl, who's 18-2. He's going to be fighting Mario Barrios. Oh, that's a good fight too. Who's 25-0. That's super lightweight. I've also got a lightweight fight. Diego Magdaleno, who is 32-3, versus Isaac Cruz Gonzalez, who is 19-1. That's another very competitive fight. This is a good card, man. Damian Vasquez is 15-1, is going to be taking on Brandon Figueroa, who's 20-1 draw. I can't say I know too much about Damian Vasquez, to be honest. 15-1, he's got a pretty decent record. I definitely know Brandon Figueroa though. 20-1 draw. That's super bantamweight. And that's it for the card. So who did Brandon Figueroa have a draw with? Julio Seja, who was 32-4. I didn't see that fight, but being super bantam, it's not likely I'm going to see most of them. I hear about fights of those smaller weight categories, and I go back and check them out now and then. But you know, I've always been more concentrated on the heavier weights: heavyweight, cruiserweight, light heavyweight, super middleweight, super welter and welter, and that's about as low as I go. I do catch the odd lightweight fight with the likes of the big name boys like Vasil Lomachenko, Tank Davis, but that's about me. I watch a few of those lightweights, very lightweights. I've got a few other newcomers in the house. We've got Daniel Mason in as well. Good to have you in, man. Anyone watch bare knuckle boxing? Now and then, man. If there's nothing else on, I watch a bit of the bare knuckle fighting, but I haven't watched any recently. Even do a bit of bare knuckle fighting on Fight Night Champion. You can download the pack for that and fight in the online world championship for bare knuckle as well. Pretty brutal freaking sport, man. Pretty brutal. But definitely worth a look for me if there's no other boxing on. Alright, last chance, y'all. Anybody wants to join, come and have a yarn about, this Mike Tyson Roy Jones fight. Give some opinion on the Michelle Wallish versus Joyce fight, or even the Daniel Dubois versus what the fuck was his name? I've forgotten again. FIFA guy. Dang, Eric FIFA, is it? Eric FIFA, I'm sure that's his name. Haha, I remembered. Yeah, Eric FIFA. So that fight's going to be on the 29th of August for Daniel Dubois. But I'll just have a quick look. For Joseph Parker, it seems like the Lucas Brown fight might be off the table. They've stopped talking about that. And now they're back to trying to offer Junior Farr money again. They've offered him a guaranteed 320,000 New Zealand dollars, depending on pay-per-views, could be exceeding $500,000 for his purse for the fight, and he's still turned it down. Lou DiBella's decided he's going to get involved now that they're talking in the hundreds of thousands, and he said no, the guaranteed money's not good enough. He didn't mention anything about the $500,000 being good enough, because that depends on pay-per-views. So apparently there's still talks going on between the two. Last I read, I'll just bring up a news story and see if there's anything new, which I haven't checked on today. So they're still trying to make this fight, and if it doesn't work, I don't know what they're going to do, man. I've been saying since they started talking about Joe having a fight in August sometime in New Zealand and basically off contract from Matchroom, he should fight Dempsey McKean, because Dempsey McKean is young, hungry, 6'6", unbeaten, holds a regional belt, has a ranking, and makes sense. Just because people who aren't hardcore fans don't know his name is irrelevant to me. I think Joe will beat him quite convincingly, but he's also quite cheap to get, to pay to fight Joe, because he's willing to make that compromise to get a fight to try and make his name. So I think Dempsey McKean should be the opponent, but they seem to be not wanting to fight him because his name isn't big enough. They wanted to fight Lucas Brown, even though he's shot to bits, because he was a former bullshit world champion, being the regular world champion. And because Dillian White knocked him out. Because he's been in the ring with Dave Allen. I mean, fuck, he got knocked out with a body shot by Dave Allen, and they still want to fight him? They just want to have a knockover opponent for Joe to look good against? I see straight through that shit. Why do you want to fight someone who's shot? You're not going to get credit from real fans, people who actually know boxing and matter. You ain't get no credit for beating up an old shot fighter. Okay, just looking at the news for Joseph Parker. The most recent story I can see on Google is from, where's the freaking date here? 3 days ago. Okay, so it's nothing new. Money stopping Joseph Parker Jr. for a heavyweight fight. Says promoter. That'll be probably both. No, it'll be Lou DiBella's comments. What else have we got here? Junior Farr turned down 500k to fight Joseph Parker. This is David Higgins' statement. I remember seeing this. He hasn't turned down 500k because if he was offered a guaranteed 500k, he might actually take it. The problem is, it's only 320,000 guaranteed. So, David Higgins trying to play on the offer here. The offer could be up above 500k if it does 75,000 pay-per-views in New Zealand. And being honest, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to do more than about 50,000, to be honest. Remember, we've only got just over 5 million people here in New Zealand. Maybe it could be pay-per-view in Australia as well, but there ain't no way in hell it would be pay-per-view in the States or the UK. Ain't no way in hell. So there's no pay-per-view revenue. I'm sure there would be some network rights that would possibly be bought by the UK and maybe the States, but a lot would depend on how good the card is as well. I mean, if Junior and Joseph did get it on, I think they should put Dempsey McKean and Hemi Ahio also on that card, and maybe even we've got another guy down here in New Zealand, what's his name, Kiki Latali, I think he is actually. I'll just see if I can find him. Kiki Latali, he's got one draw on his record, I think, but the rest are wins. 6'6" heavyweight, and he could fight somebody like a Bowie Tupou or a Solomon Homono, even a Paul Gallen. Well, actually, I was talking to one of my mates on one of the gym members on Fight Night Champion yesterday, and apparently there's some talks between Paul Gallen, who's done a bit of boxing but is a rugby league player in Australia, possibly getting in the ring in a boxing match with Mark Hunt. Now, if you put that sort of shit on the card, then you could definitely sell it as pay-per-view in Australia as well. Mark Hunt, I don't know if most people should know who Mark Hunt is. He fought in the UFC for a while, but before that he was a K1 boxer, a K1 kickboxer. He's actually Joseph Parker's cousin. He's retired from MMA now, but Mark Hunt versus Paul Gallen, that's fucking awesome. I'd watch that. I'd just about pay to watch that shit. Well, I would actually just about pay to see Mark Hunt beat the living shit out of Paul Gallen. I'm actually surprised Paul Gallen has even suggested that he would get in the ring with somebody like Mark Hunt. That motherfucker hits hard, and he's got a chin of steel. I mean, Paul Gallen's a pretty tough dude, but he ain't a professional, isn't a long-term professional combat sportsman. I mean, he's done a bit of boxing here and there. I think he's actually fought a couple of pro fights as a boxer now. But compared to Mark Hunt's career, pretty funny that he thinks he could actually kick it with him, in my opinion. But like I say, that is just my opinion. So it doesn't look like anybody's going to jump on for a yarn today, so I'm about to wrap it up, go play some Fight Night Champion. Thanks to those who did drop in, say hello. Get the Smoke, Intangible Boxing News, Tommy Temper, and David Mason. Thanks for dropping in, fellas. Appreciate the little bit of shine you jumped in to give me. So I shall catch y'all next time, and that's me for today. I'm out. So that's it for today. Appreciate y'all coming and checking out the Big Boys Boxing content. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Also, if you want to get more involved, you can go to the Big Boys Boxing channel page, and over here on the top right there's this Discord icon here. If you click on that, it will take you to the Big Boys Boxing Discord server. This is it here, and these are the text channels here. The info is all about the channel and how to get involved. General chat, we all just talk about boxing, any subject, everybody's welcome. Live fight links, I drop links here that will take you to live fight events. I generally drop the link here 24 hours before the fight, so if you don't have a broadcast, you can come here and find a way to watch it. Also, fights that I do record, I will be posting here. I've got a couple here already, as you can see. And down here, the voice channels, live panel. If you'd like to get involved with the live YouTube streams, the panel is on here. Once you get here, you just click on live panel, and as you can see, you're in. If you'd like to mute at any point, there is a little mic icon here. Click on that and you are muted. And if you'd like to leave the call, this is your hang up button. Simple as. And down here, this is anytime chat. It's another voice channel. You can get on here and talk with anybody who's in there about whatever you want to talk about. It's free for all. So get involved. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I will catch you next time. See you.